it's your girl Icy Mona, and I am back with another video. I am doing a review on Joseline'S Cabaret Season 2, Episode 2. So let's get into it. So basically, this episode starts off with the aftermath of last episode. When we left off, Lucky was bashing Barbie's face the fuck in, which was very well deserved. So they're getting broken apart, and Barbie's basically yelling out, "Oh, she snuck me, she snuck me." And I find it so funny. I forgot to mention this in the last review, but in the last episode, when she was originally telling Chanel about how Lucky was unlucky and how she was gonna like expose her, Chanel asked her like, "Oh, what are you gonna do if she tries to fight you?" And Barbie got like, "Oh, I'm a whop whop whop." So it's like, okay, you was saying that before, but now she stuck you. Like, I thought you was ready though. Okay, I guess not. And it's funny too, because I peep how she wasn't saying nigga no more, because after she was going off and they was like holding her back, she was like, "You was trying to pay my man. Like, oh, it's not your nigga no more, it's your man. Yeah, you learned your lesson." So Barbie mad, she got her ass beat. She's trying to run back, trying to fight her or whatever. That doesn't really work out because security is like holding it back. It's just a lot of chaos and commotion going on. And the funniest part was, like, I think actually no, they did actually end up fighting again. Because she had ran back one time, security like had her, and I guess she ran up a second time, and they had started fighting briefly real quick, but Jocelyn was like in the middle of it, and she literally ran off screaming like, "Ah!" That shit was hilarious. Like, I'm definitely gonna have to put a screenshot of that up. And it was funny because in the confessionals, Jocelyn was like, "Hey, look, like, I ain't no pussy, but I'm not finna get like, you know, hit from any direction, me not knowing, you know, which bitch swinging type shit," which I feel her is like, don't get it twisted. Like, if it comes down to it, I'm gonna throw hands, but if it's not my fight, I don't want to be involved in it. And Ballistic was super mad at security. He's like, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" Because he's like, Jocelyn basically shouldn't have been caught in the crossfire or that deep to the fight. Like, how are y'all not stopping this already? Like, you know, I honestly really do fuck with Ballistic. Like, he really like seems like a cool ass, like a real ass dude. So while all this chaos is going on, turn to one corner of the room, Big Lex and Aqua, they're starting to argue back at it again. And they're going bickering back and forth, and Boss Tech jumps in and she starts bickering back and forth with Big Lex too, like, "What's up, bitch? Like, I'm not scared of you, blah blah blah." So I think they got into a tussle real quick, not no real fight, but just a little, you know how it'd be, like hella security and just got into a little tussle or whatever. And once they get separated, it's like Big Lex and Aqua on the other side of the room, and Big Lex basically tells her she's gonna, I believe she said monkey kick her. I think she meant donkey kick her, but donkey kick her ass to the back of the room. And then Boss Tech steps up once again and inserts herself and is basically going off on her like, "Bitch, like, you could see me right now. Like, what's up?" So this time when they get into it, Big Lex actually rips off Boss Tech's frontal. Like, literally, they show her its hair and then rectangle, like, all left out. I was like, damn, like, no lie, like, I'm not the frontal queen. I've only had like a few done, but like, aren't they supposed to like sew at least the back part in and then you glue in the front? Like, it should have not been that easy to rip out. Like, you had all that 10K, but who is doing your hair? I just need to know, because they got you fucked up. And of course, Big Lex always has to have the 15 seconds of fame. So the frontal that she won, she stuffs it in her pants in front of her vagina and is dancing with it and just being goofy with it. And obviously the other girls like on the other side, so that's Barbie, Aqua, Boss Tech, they're all just mouthing off whatever. So Jocelyn goes over and she's talking to group 2, which is Big Lex, Lexi Blow, I think Sapphire was there. Can't remember all, but that side. And she's talking to Big Lex and it's like, "Damn, I can't believe, like, you really fought her." And she's basically telling them, like, "You know what, let that bullshit go." She goes across to the other group of Barbie and all of them is telling them, like, "Hey, like, you know, let that bullshit go." And I guess Boss Tech is upset because she feels like Jocelyn and I guess like production knew that Big Lex was going to try to fight her, because I guess Big Lex went upstairs to change and had like her shoes on and like, you know, her fighting gear on, and she felt like that was like some like fugazi type shit. And Jocelyn's trying to tell her like, "Girl, we didn't know you was gonna go upstairs and change and come downstairs and, you know, like, you get your shit ripped out. Like, we could not control that. It's not premeditated." So the next scene is Boss Tech in her room, pretend like she packing up her shit or whatever, and Jocelyn in there, because I guess Jocelyn had heard that Boss Tech wanted to go home, and Boss Tech was basically like, "Oh, what is this? Like, I didn't come here for fighting, and this is how it's gonna be. Like, I can't believe like she would try to fight me. Like, why would she try to do that?" And Jocelyn did tell her, and I was thinking the same thing, but you put yourself in the situation, Because mind you, Big Lex going off on Aqua from their previous beef. You stepped into it. Granted, I understand you stepping into it, trying to defend Aqua and, you know, being like, hey, bitch, I'm not scared of you. But if you insert yourself into a situation and you talking cash shit, you gotta be prepared that you might get your ass whooped. Like, that's just the rules of the game. Like, I'm confused. Like, you can't go up to somebody talking shit in their face and not expect them to talk shit back to you or it escalate. Jocelyn basically talks her out of it, and it's just like, girl, like, give it another shot. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Boss Tech is like, okay. Like, she was gonna stay regardless. But now she's staying. And then Jocelyn told her, I'm gonna help you get your hair fixed. So the next scene, we have Lucky, Big Lex, Sapphire, and Lexi Blow all sitting by the pool. And they're basically reminiscing about the shenanigans of last night. And Lucky, you know, basically was saying how last season, you know, she got bullied, she got picked on. That's not about to happen this season. Like, these bitches, like, try me if you want to, basically. This is where we got, like, to see another side of Lex. Because Lex basically steps up and says that she does apologize for saying the double homicide comment. Like, that wasn't cool. And, like, you know, we're all women. We all go through shit. Like, basically, that was some ignorant shit. And the girls were saying, like, in their confessionals or whatever, and I think out loud to her, too, that, like, there's two versions. There's this Lex that's out here apologizing, civilized, that's, like, understanding. And then there's Big Lex, a.k.a. the flexer, who's doing way too much, being ignorant, and just starting shit for no reason. And I hope we just see more of Lex, because Lex, like, down to earth, calm, it seemed like she's actually really cool. Like, it seemed like she really could be, like, you know, like, a girl's girl. But that other shit, like, no, stop. So the next scene, we get Jocelyn and Ballistic in their little rumor suite reminiscing about last night. And basically Ballistic was saying, Barbie gotta realize you can't be talking like mad shit and not expect to get your ass beat. And I feel like they were saying it without saying it. Like, you can't be over here using the N word, throwing it out like you that bitch, and not expect for a real nigga to come and bop your shit, you know? And it was so hilarious because Jocelyn was like, Barbie just a big old goofy white girl who can't fight. Like, exactly. Like, she just running her mouth, running her lips, and just, yeah. And she brought up how, like, Barbie's over here calling herself a bottom bitch, but you know who the real bottom bitch is? Lucky. Like, I'm gonna make Lucky, like, the captain of the Cabaret for right now. And then Ballistic touches on how security was slipping and how they need to be on that shit because there's no reason for Jocelyn to be screaming off camera the way she did. So next scene we get, it's Boss Tech, Barbie, and Chanel and Aqua. They're downstairs in the kitchen. Boss Tech's pouring up shots, like, hey, let's drink. They start reminiscing about last night, all the shenanigans that happened. Boss Tech just talking about, like, oh, she could only pull hair. Like, you know how girls be like, oh, she can't fight, she can only pull hair, blah, blah, blah. And now, like, she actually does have her real hair out. And her real hair is cute. Like, she didn't even need, like, all that, honestly. Like, I mean, granted, no, people, you know, want to do protective styles and stuff. But, like, she got hair. She cool. And she's still going with this whole fake scenario of, oh, she attacked me for no reason. Like, girl, you cannot play the victim in this household. Oh yeah, because I forgot to mention too in the last episode when Jocelyn was saying, like, the rules of the Cabaret. She was like, the rules are don't fuck Boss Tech, or not Boss Tech. Don't fuck my man, try no funny shit. Don't throw no shit. Don't break no shit. And if you gotta fight, take it outside. And then Barbie, she's over there talking about some, oh, her fake narrative, oh, she snuck me, blah, blah, blah. She made some comment saying, like, oh, like, I'm not here to beef. Like, beef is a broke bitch sport. But it's like, girl, you was the one who started this beef. Okay. Basically, next scene, same thing. It's Miss Natural and I think Yummy P. They're reminiscing about the night. And they're weak as fuck because they're weak off the whole may I? Boom. Like, how Lucky, like, ran up and all that shit. And just basically just reminiscing about it. And Yummy P was just saying how, like, the energy, she's one of those, like, spiritual girls. She's like, the energy was just very overwhelming and, you know, starting to, like, transfer on me. And Miss Natural is basically like, you know, I came here to actually, like, make a difference and do some shit. Like, I'm not here for all this other shit. So the next scene is Jocelyn, like, in her dressing room or her bathroom. And she FaceTime Lucky, like, you know, we need to talk, like, come up here. Obviously, Lucky is, like, nervous as fuck because she's thinking, like, fuck, like, you know, I just beat this girl's ass, like, twice. Like, what's gonna happen? So she comes up And they start talking, and Jocelyn's basically like, where did this new Lucky come from? Like, what happened from season 1? Lucky, you know, explains to her, like, you know what, I'm not gonna let people pick on me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm a new bitch. And this is when Jocelyn basically grants her bottom bitch, aka captain of the Cabaret. She basically felt like Lucky took initiative for the simple fact that, you know, homegirl was picking on her. She beat her ass, and then she stepped away and moved on. She wasn't over there yelling and screaming, trying to do more. Like, you know, they did end up fighting again even the second time. She fought her ass, moved away, was quiet. It was Barbie and all them over there chirping away, you know? Obviously, Lucky's hella happy. She goes back to her suite with Sapphire, tells her, like, she's the captain. And basically, Jocelyn had gave her the duty of telling all the girls, like, you know, to get ready for their first rehearsal tonight. But she told Sapphire that she has to tell Barbie about the rehearsal, that she don't want to do it. She's granting at least that person to her, and Sapphire's kind of like, I don't want to do it, but like, I'm gonna do it, whatever. So basically, the next scene, Lucky's delivering the message to all the girls to get sexy, get ready for rehearsal. And then they show Sapphire. She goes into, I believe, Barbie's room, and I think it's Chanel there and Boss Tech, I think, and basically tells them, like, hey bitches, get ready for tonight, first rehearsal. Like, Lucky is the captain. And of course, they all talking shit like, how is she the bottom bitch? How is she the captain? The next scene, we get Jocelyn in this like private room, basically private room with like a stripper pole in it, and she looks bomb as fuck. And basically she says that she's gonna put on a dance for Ballistic, and it's like a surprise dance, but this dance she will be, I guess, eventually teaching to the girls. And she's dancing to her song, which is also like the theme song of the show. It's called I forgot the name of it, but it's been stuck in my head. No lie, it is a bop. Tell me how you want it, how you need it, do like a show birthday. But yeah, so she's over there doing her dance. But yeah, she over there worked the pole, do her little tricks, whatever. He looked just taken aback, just like amazed, like, whoa. And I'm not gonna lie, that's what I'm saying, this show's so uncut, because you know most shows are gonna block shit out. They didn't block nothing out. When they showed the montage of the girls getting ready for the night and changing, to actually showed the titties, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this show's lit. The girls finally come down and join Jocelyn in the little private room. And basically, Jocelyn tells them that one by one, they're each going to perform to her song. And basically, she's checking out their skills, dancing skills, stage presence, all the different categories, all that shit. So Jocelyn sits down in her chair and let the show begin. So first off, Boss Tech is missing because she went to go get her hair done. And Jocelyn was mad about that because she was like, she had all fucking day to get her hair done, but now she wants to get it done. Like, okay, like, you're whack for that. And honestly, that is whack. I feel like that kind of just shows like you think you're better than everyone. Like, oh, I don't even need this rehearsal. Like, okay. Oh, and mind you, so after Jocelyn tells them like, oh, you're gonna dance to my song, it's called Live Your Best Life. Yeah, Live Your Best Life. Barbie interrupted and was like, and just I want to make it clear, like, I was in the video, I'm the only real bottom bitch. Like, here we go. Like, this bottom bitch thing is so, like, that's the only accomplishment she has in life, is being a bottom bitch. Like, that's really crazy. Like, you're really like this pressed. And then Lucky responds back to her and she was like, well, I'm actually the real bottom bitch, like, and I'm the captain. So then they start kind of going back and forth, and Jocelyn like steps in and say, hey, like, let's focus on what we're doing here. The girls go up. I'm not gonna go through all of them individually, but I'm gonna go through ones that stood out to me for either bad or good reasons. Yummy P was up first, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know, maybe it's because I didn't watch the first season, but I thought it was gonna be more amateur-ish, but there was more like professional dancers than there were amateurs. Because when Yummy P got up and I saw her pole work, and mind you guys, like, we have a pole in our living room, like, we do like pole for fun. I've taken pole classes, so I do know like about, like, you know, the pole world, and then like the dancer side of it, from me competing all my life with like jazz, ballet. But when I saw Lucky up there, and I was like, oh, like, she's actually a dancer. Like, she was actually doing for real, not no basic little tricks on the poles. Like, no, like, homegirl was doing this shit, and I was like, oh shit, like, these are real dancers. She did good. Jocelyn told her that she needs to do like more floor work. Lucky, she did very well too, definitely like P-Valley with it. And but the best one was Miss Natural. And Miss Natural, like, she, mind you, she has that for real dance experience. She was doing floor work. Mind you, she's flexible as fuck, doing hella floor work. When she got on that pole, it was literally just art, like, beautiful. Like, literally tens across the board. Like, there's no one who did it better than her. There's people who came close, but like that, her dancing, like, chef's kiss. Like, yeah. After her, it's supposed to be Barbie's turn. And she walk up like, you know, I'm not a stripper, like, I'm a trapper, like, all that shit. And it's like, okay, we know that, but you still have to do this. Like, why did you come on this show to be a part of a whole ass cabaret? Like, what else is a cabaret supposed to do? Then Barbie just tries to like segue, basically, and Jocelyn said it right in the confessionals, like, if you don't know how to dance, just say that, bitch, because you're doing hella extra. Because then she tried to segue into like, I'm a real bottom bitch, like all that whole shit, like how she understand how she would pick Lucky over her, I guess because of them being cool outside the house. Like, she thought it was good, but it's like, girl, no. And then she starts taking off her shoes, and Jocelyn's like, wait, like, what are you doing? She's like, you trying to fight? And she's like, all right, I'm gonna let it be clear. If y'all fight tonight, I'm fighting tonight. Everybody fighting tonight. Like, and she's like, I'm gonna knock a few of you bitches out. Basically, like, I'm tired. Like, if you finna fight, we all finna fight in this bitch. Like, I'm like, Lord. And then for a minute, Barbie kind of starts getting like catty with Jocelyn, and that's when Jocelyn stands up out of her chair, and Barbie backed the fuck up real quick, sat down, she corrected herself. That moment she knew, like, bitch, this is not your show. Like, you will literally get your shit knocked. Like, be cool. And basically Jocelyn's like, look, girl, like, I understand you hurt, I love you, but I'm not gonna baby you. Like, it is what it is. Like, deal with it. And she's like, do you want to go at the end? And she was like, yes, please. And like, in my head, I'm like, I would be too, honestly. Like, I'd be like, you know, oh, my stomach hurts hella bad. Like, there's no way, because she killed it. So the next set of girls, I was kind of disappointed in. There were, let me see, there was only one out of the next set that was like good. But to keep it short and sweet, Lexi Blow, it's kind of basic. She didn't really have much pole work, and granted, there are different types of dancers. There are dancers who either know how to twerk their ass hella good on the pole, or know how to do pole tricks, or know how to do both. But she was one of those where she just knew how to actually dance and move her body, but she didn't do much pole work. It wasn't bad, but I give it like a 7. Big Lex. So Big Lex, the flexer, the one who was flexing so hard last episode. I'm sorry, girl, basic as fuck. Like, she, you know, she dropped into a split, did her little scoot humping thing, but she didn't really have much, like, for real pole work. Like, it was very amateurish, and it's just crazy because it's like all that big shit you was talking, like big flex or blah blah blah. It's like, bitch, like you not a big flex, because the girls are shitting on you, like shitting on you. But out of that bunch, Sapphire, fine ass Sapphire, I was memorized from her, because she did really good. Like, she actually knew how to do like pole work, like real pole work. She did floor work. I could feel her energy. Like, I felt like she was only dancing for me. Like, whew. And she gave Jocelyn a lap dance, and she did a little thing where she's like, you know how Lil Nas X in his video, I was like, okay, yes. But it was funny because Jocelyn was clowning her, and the confessional was like, you know, her shit was good, but she be like, basically, she be got a big ass mouth, like she be talking too much. And I'm like, oh. And next we had Aqua. Aqua, honestly, it was, to me, it was basic. I rated her a 6. She didn't really have much pole work. Yeah, she had energy, she could dance, but I feel like the reason why she got fully naked is because she doesn't really have much pole work, or like, you know, it's like, I mean, you can't really dance on a pole like that or get sexy like that. I mean, what else more can you do? I don't know. I didn't really like it. And then Jocelyn made a fucked up comment saying, because, you know, she had like been over in front of her face, and she was like, oh, this bitch just had an abortion and her pussy all up in my face now, something like that. I'm like, Lord Jesus. Chanel, I give her a 6-2, very basic, very amateurish, and she actually slipped. And I know she was very upset, like, I never mess up. Like, girl, first off, stop lying. Second off, you know, it just really shows you like the levels of the girls, and you definitely can't judge a book by its cover, because I did not think Yummy P could bust out like that the way she did. I was like, oh shit, she is not playing at all. And then last but not least, we had Barbie. She walks up, remember, she decided she wanted to go last. She walks up to about to get on the pole, but instead takes off her shoes and then runs to try to fight Lucky. And it's like, bitch, like, you just can't accept the fact that you got your ass beat. Like, girl, like, give it up. But that was a review for this episode. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.